Here we go. Welcome to the Bernie Kosar Show with the top dog, Hanford Dixon. We got a trio shot.
Top dog.
What's up? What's up?
How we doing, guys? It's Super Bowl week.
Well, I'm a little bit excited because I always get excited at this time of the year. Obviously, not like my partner over here. Never had the opportunity to play in one of these big games, but I'm happy for him, though. I'm happy for him that he knows about that whole experience and also have some hardware to prove it.
Yeah, I got chastised last week for digging in my pocket like I'm playing with myself over here.
That's what I was wondering. I was what the hell is he doing over there? But I understand. You was pulling out the hardware.
I was pulling out the Super Bowl ring. So, yeah, that's Super Bowl memories. Hard to believe. It's almost 30 years ago that happened. So we'll get into that today. And I'm fresh from the dental chair. So if I look like I'm chewing on my tongue today, I am.
Is it still numb?
It's a little numb right
Okay,
now.
okay.
Again, I say this a lot through the course of the year for any of the young football players and young mothers out there. Make your kids wear a mouthpiece when you play any of these contact sports. I was a stubborn youth, and now I'm paying for it without teeth. Thank you, Dr. Koski, this morning.
Shout out to Dr. Koski. We also got Dave in studio. Big play,
What's
Dave.
up, guys? How we doing? Happy Super Bowl week. Hanford won one day.
Big play.
Our Browns will make it.
Big play. Let's hope so. I mean, but it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like
it
it's going to be
doesn't.
anytime soon.
I'm more fashion-oriented here today. I did not get the call. I did not get the call on the white sweater by the males today, Gab. You know, like.
I
Jeez.
had to compliment you on that.
I
That's
wanted the
very. That, you know what? You look like you're Miami-ish or something.
Well, I don't know
the fashion city.
Well, I want to show I'm a team player and a conformist, and I should have the white sweater on to fill out the trilogy here.
Next
okay?
show.
Next show. All right, we
Okay.
are going to get into this. I think I rolled the wrong video to start, so I'm just going to roll our opening drive video once again. Nobody would have known, but
Let's
I'm going to
do
call
it.
it out.
Let's do
All
it.
right, and then we'll get into our Super Bowl talk and actually a little bit of Myles Garrett from yesterday. Stand by. All right, so did we see the dislocated toe news from the obstacle course, fellas, from Myles Garrett?
Yes, we did. And
That's what he get for his goddamn toe being so damn big. You know, I mean, he's the only one that go out there and dislocate a toe. I mean, come on, Miles.
well, Mr. Health Guy here, the Myles Garrett athleticism and push-off that he gets with his base there, that
Yeah.
I'm sure that toe is as minor as that would seem.
Yeah.
Is something for a guy who has good power and a good first step. It should not be an issue at
Not a
all. This
problem.
is just overly being sensitive. And if I was a general manager, I would have an issue with this. As an ex-player, we're going to bust his chops for it. But that is something that, we talked about it last week in a podcast. If I was a general manager or a guy that was in charge of the team, I would be nervous of some of those drills they did. Like, it's one thing playing where he broke his toe, but there was a couple other drills where the linemen were running through wooden walls like that, throwing 45 and 90-pound weights around. I'm not sure that's the idea of what I want to watch on Sunday afternoon.
You know what I think, though? I think they're in a position where it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because, and the reason why I say that, because Bernie, when we when the Pro Bowl came up, I mean, obviously we would play the game, we would have pads on, and it was pretty serious, and everybody was kind of.
It was a damn serious game, though. It was a game, and again, we weren't right, and we joked about it last week to the kids and parents out there. We held grudges off the field, and there were vendettas that you would want to take care of out at practice week. How juvenilely dumb was that?
Right.
I mean, making guys run, hitting them, extending them over the middle of the field. I mean, dumb stuff that, right, where you legitimately were at risk of being hurt.
And that's why I say the owners and the general managers, I think they would much rather see the guys go out and do things like this than to really go out there, put the pads on, and really play the game. But Miles, I think he was the only one. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was the only one that pretty much had an injury out there during the whole process. But it was just all in fun, though. The guys going out like big kids, just going out having a.
I think he was probably in the wrong event, because did you see him? I mean, look at all his mess.
Yeah.
He's flying over the walls, and he's got to jump down and keep going. It's not what he usually does in the game.
And then they saw you to shimmy under that little board.
What you're saying, though, and I agree with, it was probably an event for someone like me, like a defensive back or wide receiver or running back or somebody like that. Not a quarterback or
I know my place.
Not a defensive lineman or offensive lineman or.
I know my place in the food chain, and it is not in that athletic type events.
But you know what, guys? What you'll learn, and Bernie, I don't have to tell you this, but what you will learn watching all the guys throughout all the events, I don't care what they're doing. You'll see the competitiveness. You'll see the guys, the juices start to flow, and they want to do well. They want to beat whoever they're up against. I don't care if it's dodgeball or whatever it is. The guys want to show up, and they want to show out.
I love that. Yeah, I did love the headshots and dodgeball and stuff. Again, another thing that youth and kids, you should not do like us. But I said it on the show last week, and I'll say it again this week. And I chuckled as I'm watching it a little bit yesterday, and as we're here, is the other players, though, making fun of us. And God bless you, Marty.
Yeah.
But we got to play in our one of our Pro Bowls with Marty as our head coach, and he wanted to win about the players being competitive. The coaches wanted to win, and we practiced so damn hard. We were hitting in practice that the other players were saying, like, "Damn, control your coach, man." We had no control.
I'll say this before we end this whole thing. Did you see where Tyreek Hill?
Oh, God.
Yeah,
on the lateral. Yeah.
Did you see? That was serious. That was no pads on, and they're like, the hell with this. I'm taking you out right now.
Yeah, who was that who hit the hit? Was that Adams?
It was who was the cornerback? I'll think of it in a minute. I can't remember too much anymore, Bertie. My mind.
We're on 7.
You know how
trust
we
me.
are.
Yeah, that's CTE exactly. Hey, that's actually why I'm going out to the Super Bowl this week. I'm going to be going out doing some of the Radio Row stuff with Kyle Richardson and the NFL retired players, Dr. Roizen with the Cleveland Clinic. NFL retired players are looking at some new programs, Huddle for Health. So we say it in jest. We've talked about it on the show, about us talking about some of the holistic stuff that's kind of helped myself out. But, man, some of us ex-players have gone through a lot, and it's good to I'm looking forward to seeing what some of the other teams, some of the nationally, some of the other organizations are doing from a retired players' health perspective, because we jest about it, joke about it. But that memory stuff is something that, fortunately, ours is just bad, and we're able to somewhat do things like this. There's a lot of our brothers aren't even able to get themselves up to do something like this, let alone get in a plane to actually do a trip, to go do a convention like this, to trying to aggregate some of the ideas and protocols that are working well for us.
And then I'll say this: every time you turn around, I mean, you pick up the paper and you're reading. One of us have passed away, which is just so sad. I mean, but it's life, and but I think that's really, really great that you're going to go out there, and you guys you're gonna be with the doctors, and you guys will bring some awareness to
some awareness, and hopefully get some protocols and some concisement in terms of what our message is going to be, and what's the exact protocols of treatments that us guys could go to for real help. Because right now, there's a lot of places and a lot of situations where we don't even know where to turn, let alone what to do when we turn there.
All right, you'll have to keep us updated on your trip. Let's take a look at Super Bowl. So, Bernie, you were with the Cowboys Super Bowl team. What does this week leading up to the Super Bowl look like for the players?
Yeah, I
With the
guess
travel,
if any
media?
week I should be wearing like my Super Bowl ring, you know. God, it looks like I'm under the table now, you know, a little stash going on here. You know what? The Super Bowl week, you talk about the excitement of it, the preparation for it. I was in the last 40 years, I think there's been maybe 2 or 3 Super Bowls where there was not a bye week in between. I played in one of the ones where it went from NFC or championship week to the next week was the Super Bowl. So It happens so fast. Like, man, Troy Aikman gets hurt, gets knocked out. All of a sudden, damn, I'm in the game. My history left onto itself tends to recreate itself. So my past history of losing 3 AFC championship games before I knew to not make preparations for Super Bowl, okay, until after that game. So I didn't make any plans and stuff, let alone did I not make plans to actually play and make a difference in the game. So, wow, it just hit so quick. So now it's Sunday night. You know, it's 8 o'clock at night. All of a sudden you're in the locker room and, you know, Jimmy Johnson's yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You know, so I'm damn excited. But all of a sudden now Troy's hurt. You got to figure out, you know, are you even playing? And now, you know, you're going to be traveling a day or two later to down to Atlanta was where we had the Super Bowl. So you didn't get that time to really enjoy the effects of the championship win, and you definitely did not get a chance to kind of enjoy Super Bowl week. But from a X's and O's standpoint, it was tough that week. I did not like it from the football standpoint because, you know, I've talked at length through this show. I love having a bye week. When I get 2 weeks to come up with my X's and O's, my game plans, I could really nail down into what the other team's doing. So I didn't get a chance to do that. Didn't matter. We ended up winning. But I say that because what I really love with Andy Reid and with Patrick Mahomes is what he does in game plans. And now he has 2 weeks to come up with this game plan for Philadelphia. And right now, this Super Bowl week, now it's the culmination of, heck, it's early in the week. The game is 6 days away. But now they have an idea of what they're going to do, X's and O's wise, and now they're fine-tuning it. And I love kind of that part of the Super Bowl week where you're able now to really dive into, and as we joked last week, and I'm not pitching this to talk about the prop bets or typical and stuff, but when you have a couple weeks to really analyze stuff, you know, prop bets and just like segments of the game and play calling, all of that, you have real time to analyze it. And I enjoy that analytical part of it.
And I think what it is, Gab, too, I mean, obviously, you know, both teams are at the event right now. I think they go down on a Sunday, give them time. But the players have to really be careful because the coaches have to have a firm grip on their football team. What I mean by that is there's so much going on during Super Bowl.
You're spot on, man.
I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, you got family there, Bernie.
Yeah, so it's such a great point, not to over chime in on your awesome point, but Gab, to your point of what happened Super Bowl week. So all that's happening. We win. You have a million friends when this happens, when you win. So everybody wants Super Bowl tickets with the bullshit scam of, oh, I'm going to pay you for them, and none of them do. Okay, right. So now you've got a list of 1,000 people that want stuff and rooms and just see you, and you want to prepare for the game and stuff. So it's imperative that your coach has an iron fist on you and prepares the young kids for what's in front of them, because it's not the fans that are a problem. It's your friends and family, okay, from the first part. So what they do Super Bowl week is, you'll go, and it's the free-for-all Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You're getting besieged from your friends and family for for all the stuff that you usually do for him and that. But then you leave your hotel the night or two before the game. Like, you'll actually go to the place, you'll stay with your family, but then you'll move and you'll leave them, say, 48 hours to 24 hours before the game to really make sure, almost like double secret probation or security, to keep them kind of tucked away.
All right, let's preview a little bit now for this game. The quarterbacks. This game has two of the best quarterbacks in football. We can start with Mahomes. Hanford, what do the Eagles need to do to slow him down?
Well, it's going to be tough. I mean, you're talking about, you hit it right on the head. You talk about two of the best quarterbacks, but I think you have the best quarterback, I would say, in the game today, talking about Mahomes. And it's going to be tough because you're talking about a guy, he's over 5,000 yards passing. What is it, about 41
touchdowns.
41 touchdowns.
12 interceptions.
12 interceptions. What, 12? Is that 6 or 12? I can't. 6 interceptions, I think it is. No, I'm looking at hers. 12 interceptions. And he's got almost 400 yards rushing, too. I mean, you talk about a guy that can pretty much do it all. I've never seen a guy, I mean, that have so many arm actions as far as throwing the football. And he's going to be tough. I mean, he's going to be really, really tough. And also, when you look at it, he's got Bernie hit on it. He's got his offensive coordinator, Bieniemy, is over there. Is going to also be calling some plays, but also as head coach. Come on, guys.
He's the man.
I mean,
you give Andy Reid and a bonus week of game planning.
Yeah, he has pretty much seen it all. But what, Gab, Bernie, big play, what you turn around and you look at it, though, if there's anyone that can handle Mahomes and his crew on offense, it's got to be on the opposite side. And this defense is tough. I mean, it is tough. As far as sacking the quarterback, there's no one, Bernie, no one better than Philadelphia in the NFL as far as sacking the quarterback this year. I think they led the league with like 70 or over 70 sacks.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, this is a game that I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah,
the action.
how you talk about Patrick Mahomes being able to do everything, which he absolutely can, and he added in at the end. He's able to run in that too, which is his wheels are so amazing, and legs, and what he's able to ad lib and create. The high ankle sprain was a big issue in the AFC Championship game. He did not use those legs up until when the game was on the line at the end, and he made that one genius, gutsy run to put him in field goal range. So seeing how his ankle healed with the extra week, people are going to say, oh, it should have healed. It won't have healed completely and stuff. Does it get hit early again? But because it's the last game and you say you got the whole offseason to heal, I could see him attempting to run a little more than he did in the AFC Championship game, just because it's the last game and stuff. And I love how with the Eagles defense, though, knowing that he's limited, and with that pass rush of trying to keep him in the pocket.
I have a quick question for you real quick. Were you surprised? I mean, obviously, what I mean by this, were you surprised Tyreek Hill gone? Obviously, you have Juju Smith, Marquez, Kelsey. You still have some talented guys over there. But were you surprised that with Tyreek Hill gone, that he was still able to accomplish what he was able to accomplish this year?
Well, I'm still chuckling at Tyreek Hill getting launched in the Pro Bowl game, okay? So that is like that is like taboo on that. To say not surprised, it would be more to that answer, but all of us have to be somewhat surprised, even with the genius of Patrick Mahomes, with the genius of Andy Reid, with the I didn't think, and it's not just because I'm a homer here with my love of the Kelce's, but whether we're from Cleveland or not, Travis Kelce is the best tight end in football, and he was last year. And I did not think he could get exponentially better, but he did since Tariq Hill left. So to see that complete dominance still, I don't think myself would have expected it at this level. It's damn impressive. And with Andy Reid, the way he's creating, and still Travis Kelce getting so open in the middle of the field without Tariq Hill there, it's impressive, and it says a lot about all three of those guys.
Ernie, I'll say this, Gab, before I go on. He just has a feel for the game, Not very fast, but I'm telling you, you can't cover him. I don't care who you are. No one seems to be able to cover the damn guy.
Let's talk about the coaching, because you were just talking about Andy Reid, but we do have an interesting matchup here. Nick Sirianni in his second year.
Our
as a
Mount
head
Union
coach.
guys.
Yeah, why'd you have to call that out? Go Blue Streaks.
Yeah, we've been giving so much love to JC all year.
I know.
Here,
Well, we've got a lot of John Carroll alums in the NFL, so
yes.
they're doing their thing. Andy Reid is in his 24th season, though. Wow. What do each of these guys do that makes them so good?
Yeah, Andy Reid's an anomaly, and I think so many of us offensive players, offensive coaches, aspire to be the Andy Reid head coach who was a youngster as a quarterback, then became a quarterback coach, an offensive coordinator, play caller, and now is a dominant head coach. That is a dominant play caller, and we talk about this in Cleveland. Should the head coach be calling plays? They talk about it in just about every city where the head coach calls plays, and just about in every city it is not done successfully, except Andy Reid consistently does it successfully. His ability to manage games and call plays at the right time is impeccable. There's no doubt he has the massive creativity with it. But I think his key to success is one of the things that Bill Belichick and Nick Saban do from the defensive side of it at their respective schools. He also is it teaches detail and coaching assignments of how to run routes, how do you attack press coverage, how do you get the DBs to turn their hips, why should the guys the spacing be 4 to 6 yards on a flat and 16 to 18 yards on that comeback behind it. There's a scientific reason for that, and then how he teaches guys how to actually execute.
You know what I think, too, and I find very, very interesting? I think Andy Reid is definitely in charge of the play calling, but I also think that Bieniemy is right there with him, and I think he's calling some of the plays. Obviously, if Andy Reid don't like it, he will override him. I think what I think, Bernie, would be very, you know what I think would be very, very interesting? I would love to be on those headsets to listen to those two guys, how they communicate.
Yeah, you know what? That was a really great point at you, and I would love to listen to that too. And as we were saying that, and to finish, Gab, you're asking, one of the things too that plays off of Hanford's point is Andy Reid looks almost, he has that leadership and that, I don't want to say dictator discipline to him, because he has that player relationship with him. But he also has that ability to be egoless. Yeah. So, like, if the OC, Eric Bieniemy, has a good play call, he's not cocky enough, oh, no, it has to be my play. No. He'll love, matter of fact, he probably wants the guys to give him a better suggestion than him. And
you could tell that respect is there between him and his coaching staff, because his coaching staff, you could tell, understands and knows that he respects each and every one of them, and they can appreciate that. That's guy, but he would like you right now, Bernie. You know why? Because he would love to draw that mustache.
I didn't shave till I was 28.
He would love to take him and draw.
Yeah, I was drawing them in high school. On myself.
Did you guys see Bernie just then? He was like, "Where the hell is Hanford going with that?"
I mustache you. Our next question.
Wow.
Only Dave got that. So let's talk about the defense, because you alluded to it a little bit. The old saying is defense wins championships. Which defense do you like better? Or do a little breakdown there.
Ooh, you know what? When you look at it, obviously you got to say you like Philadelphia's defense because I think they're more complete defense. Obviously, you got Fletcher Cox, who has just been good for so long. Darius Slay, who's back there in that secondary, one of the corners. But this team, talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, they always seem to come up with the play. They always seem to get to the quarterback, harass the quarterback, and that's what it's all about. But here lately, Kansas City's defense have come up with a couple of stops when they needed to come up with a couple of stops.
So I absolutely concur on your expert analysis, and I'm not saying that to be a gratuitous suck up on Philly. I mean, you're nailing it on that, and I concur on the Kansas City piece. From an old quarterback, I would want to be playing against the Kansas City defense the way that Spags calls defenses, because he is playing he does a lot of press coverage, does a lot of man coverage, and then he does that 8-man up front man looking blitz that he runs to play cover 2 in, and he takes that safety from in the box and he runs his ass back to and tries to have him cover the deep half of the field, so he ends up being weak in run support, and you have opportunities in the fades and middle of the field with the free releases that you get. There are openings in there, but when they have Chris Jones, the man, dominating like he has been dominating the last month of the year, now that makes that Kansas City defense like a mess then, because now as a QB, I don't see all those guys running around because you got the monster, Chris Jones, and he was so disruptive in the last half of the season and in the playoff game against Joe Burrow last week, when you thought, hey, Cincinnati and the Bengals and Joe Burrow are going to lead them right down the field, and Chris Jones dominated that fourth quarter, really the whole game. And if he has one of those type games against Philly this week, that can make it a mess for Jalen Hurts. But again, now I'm just showing a little bit of my Cleveland Homer stuff, and I said on a show last week, that's why I like Jason Kelce, though. Debatably, man, that's the matchup of this game. Jason Kelce gets Chris Jones, debatably the one of the toughest assignments any human is going to get.
Bernie, you know you've been playing well when you, as a player, Chris Jones, have a prop bet to get 2 sacks in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So you know he's playing well. That's going to be a good matchup.
Well, you know what's going to be interesting, too, because when he's playing well, that frees up Gay and Dunlap.
If Chris Jones is playing well, it's a whole other Kansas City team. It's a whole other defense. I mean, it's the center of the field's a mess.
God damn it, Gab! I got 3 plays in me now. I had 1 when we started the show. Now I have 3 in me. Get me fired up. Let's go.
Let's see it, Hanford. What shoes did you wear today?
Oh, you were yelling a go bomb to get that kind of pressure. Chris Jones wasn't even born yet. We were yelling at his dad, Sean Jones. Sean Jones is. Actually, Sean Jones is one of the reasons I was at the damn dentist this morning, man. He waxed my side of my face right here, man.
And he could get away with it back then.
He did do that, man.
He could get away with that today.
Sean, why do I like your son so much? Man? I should be vindictive.
Hey, let's look a little bit more with our player bets, because Dave brought it up a little bit. We'll get into our bets of the week and take a look at some of these numbers. All right, get ready to bet all season long with the show crew. Sunday's big game, Cavs, Blue Jackets, college basketball, and more. You can bet anywhere, but at Tipico, you'll get the best odds on your favorite Cleveland sports teams and players. You must be 21 years old, and if you've got a gambling problem, don't hesitate to call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's look at some bets, Dave.
And this week we're going all Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Player prop bets. Bernie was talking about it. We've got some interesting ones with some players you already mentioned. Hanford, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
Big play Slay, Darius Slay, to record 1 interception.
Ooh. You know what? I don't. That's gonna be tough. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen. What do you think, Bernie?
Well, I'm being the quarterback and stuff. I
know you gotta go against.
I like both quarterbacks,
Right.
man. I don't want to root for any of these guys to throw a pick. So, I heard a cool thing and again, maybe back to we were talking last week of. We want to be the winning guy that wins the game and goes to Disney World and has that awesome memory. I don't want to see anybody be the negative guy and do that. So,
and I think where that bet is coming from because obviously we know how good Slay is playing. I mean, he's damn good corner, and obviously when you got a defensive line and guys that put pressure on the quarterback like they put pressure on him, it's a real possibility.
It could happen.
I think you could go either way on that bet, but if I was betting, I would say negative. Yeah.
Chris Jones versus Kelsey. What do you think about that 2-sack?
I want to hear this. I want to hear
Yeah.
this response.
so just against anybody, taking a defensive tackle to get two sacks in any game
Crazy.
is a big reach.
Yeah.
And so anyway, statistically, that's usually challenging, but because I do love Ed and Donna Kelsey, okay, and Donna on the coin toss and everything, we love you. God bless you for that. There is no way in hell I'm going against your son. Here, Chris Jones, you cannot get 2 sacks. Jason Kelsey, you're going to eat him. All right, my man.
I love it.
Love you, Kelseys. All right.
How about this one, Bernie? This one's kind of interesting. Eagles to record 2+ fourth down conversions. We talked about Stefanski all year being aggressive, running on third down with the expectation, going for it on 4th and short. What do you think about the Eagles being aggressive in the Super Bowl, going for it on 4th down twice?
Okay, I heard it twice a different way. Going for it or converting twice.
Converting. I think it's converting.
Converting.
Yeah.
Converting.
I think it's good. Yeah.
So-
I just have so much confidence
Right.
in it.
I was following that one.
Jeez, hey, I'm actually listening these days.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, all right. Yeah, I've just again that's a reach on any game, so I'll say nay.
But you know what? I don't know because here's why I say because it is the Super Bowl and this is the last game. I mean, it's win or go home. And
Only because you said convert.
Yeah.
No. If you said go for it, I just said yes to go for it. I mean, I'll go for it twice and screw up.
I think with Hurts at quarterback, I mean, you get a couple of those 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, and
You might go for it.
there's no question about it. Well, depending on it. I mean, really, where the ball is. If there's, I think they'll go for it, and I think they'll convert at least 2. I think both teams will convert a couple of fourth downs. That's what I think.
All right, to Mr. Quarterback over here, here's another prop bet. Going deep, a boost on Tipico. First play of the game to be a pass.
Now, if you was the Raiders, I would say yes.
Oh.
I want look at him.
Bernie, if you're coming
Well, no, I'm chuckling at all my knucklehead friends who would be saying, "Hey, make sure the first play's a pass.
Yeah.
Make sure it's a pass, bro. Make sure you got me covered." Oh, you didn't tell me. No, but and then people would say like so going into these big games like this, and I had this, and I love you, Marty, so much, and some of my major coaches, in big games, I wanted my teammates to know I was there and I was ready to play. Mm-hmm. So hell would freeze over before I'd want to hand the ball up the middle.
Yeah.
So that rules that out. Okay, if I was a thing. So absolutely, I would love to be making a message on my first play of the game. And Joe Burrow did it in the AFC Championship game. Even though Jamar Chase was covered and it was too deep, he threw it. He made a message. I love doing that. So that I would gamble on something like that.
Yeah.
All right, another reach. Let's go back to the Kelseys. Travis Kelce to score 2+ touchdowns and the Chiefs to win. Wrap that all up in one bet.
Hey, well, dog, I'm going with the AFC. I'm sticking with the AFC. I think Mahomes is going to be. I think that ankle's not going to be a problem for him this week because the good thing is he didn't re-injure it last week, and he's had 2 weeks to get that thing right. Kelsey, again, Mr. and Mrs. Kelsey, I'm going with your boys. And in this case, you're one boy. I think he's going to catch 2 touchdown passes because Mahomes, that's his number one target when he's anywhere down in the red zone. And I think he will catch at least 2. And I also think that Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl.
So I'm trying, as you're talking, to come up with an articulate answer.
Mr. and Mrs. Kelsey are listening to you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I actually,
we're rooting for 2.
That's absolutely. So for the people that think I have some in-depth analytical knowledge, this is complete Homerville right now. And I'm actually thinking of Mr. and Mrs. Kelsey, and that since both their sons are offensive, that I'm going to pick the over 100. Okay, that both teams are going to just all score every game because I want both offenses to do good. But you know what? How Jalen Hurts handles the pressure of it, and how they and Jason handles Chris Jones. If Jason Kelsey handles Chris Jones, then Jalen Hurts, I believe, will be able to get to the edge and do those RPOs that they've been so successful with. And because of the soundness of the Philadelphia group defense and stuff, I would really hope that I'm Philadelphia, that I'd be keeping Patrick Mahomes in the box, in the pocket, and trying to just, keep him limited like that. It gives Philadelphia a little bit of an edge to me.
I don't know what the heck the odds are going to be on this one. A doink. Any extra point or field goal to hit the upright or crossbar.
Oh, my God.
Why we can't bet that?
It better not. Not in this game. No one better not hit the crossbar. It better go in. I think I'll pass on that one.
Yeah, I say we pass on that one. Bernie,
so wait, if you bet on that and it doesn't, like you just say...
You lose.
No, but if you just say you bet and it isn't going to hit.
I don't think they'll take it. Yeah. So this prop bet, it has to hit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So... You put $5, that's got to be at least $50.
So then, this is a little bit in the spirit of levity, as they want to be sarcastic, humorist, as I age out and stuff. You just wasted 45 seconds of our lives and our listeners' lives for that bullshit bet there. Don't do that, people at home. Okay?
All right, let's talk about a real one. Over, under. Bernie, we've talked about over-unders throughout the year. Yeah. What do you think, taking the points out of it, what for Super Bowl in general, do you think is it the nerves there? Is it the adrenaline rushing? Do you think over or under just in a Super Bowl game? Let's just put it at 50 right now.
So here's
49 and a half.
Somewhere between 49, 51, it's moving around.
Yeah, so this is on paper, I love these offenses. I love how they can score points. I love how the defense, especially the Kansas City one, actually plays man defense and gives you chances to score points too. So that typically all tends towards the overs of that. Yeah. But because this is a high one, but the question to me, when you say, how do you think of points in the Super Bowl? Yeah, there is some of the nerves and stuff, but like when I was playing there and you watch it all the time, it's not as much the nerves as this is absolutely a different routine. So we are creatures of habit. We go out an hour before the game. We do our stretching 56 minutes before the game, before kickoff is, and then you have each minute is specifically said, and you know exactly what and where you're going to be doing for every game. For the Super Bowl, there's an extra pregame. There's extra time in the locker room. There's extra commercial times. That doesn't sound like a lot, but you stand around a lot. You get stiff. You don't get into a rhythm. So offensively, you don't really just get to keep playing and stay on task, and you end up getting a little distracted and stuff. So you tend to make some more mistakes in these type games, not because of nerves, but because you don't get into a routine or rhythm.
All right, last one.
I would go with the over, though.
You're taking the over in this one? You think it's going to be a
Oh,
shootout?
I think it's going to be a shootout.
All
I think those guys are going to put some points on the board.
You know me, Hanford. I love the overs.
Yeah.
All right, last one. We got Hanford's pick. He's going AFC Super Bowl winner. Bernie, I know you needed another week. Process it all. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's close like that, but just for the spirit of just I love you and stuff, but and I would either go with you on that, but I'm going to go with Philly just to go with the Jason Kelsey, give him a little older brother a little love.
There we go.
See, he really likes Philadelphia. I can tell that. He tried to make me feel good on that one.
No, seriously. I mean, no, seriously. I mean, I want to see the Kelseys do really good. I've said it through the course of the year that when we played, you asked what we did after the games. Did we go to the Super Bowl? And I said no. I was actually a baby. Did not want to really watch it without the Browns really being in it, and some of the stuff that happened with I'm not overly going to lose sleep either way on the game. I mean, I want to see our team do good. Our team's not in it, so none of the teams I played with are in it. So I'm not really.
What'd you do after the Super Bowl after you won? What was that like?
So the Super Bowl party was
Watch out now. Watch
very,
out. Watch
yeah.
out. Now, be careful with that one. Now, be careful. Let's don't tell too much now. I've been to some parties now.
When
we can't tell too much now.
It was interesting though to me. I won the national championship in '83 and the Super Bowl in '93, and it was the two teams that didn't go to the White House.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you've
Hanford's having some flashbacks.
Yeah, I was having some flashbacks now. BK, I'm going to ask you this one before we shoot it back to Gab. A lot of fans don't understand or realize how hard it is to get not only to get to the Super Bowl, but win a Super Bowl. I mean, some players, they'll get there, but they never, they think, like a young player, for instance, might get there early, but then never throughout their whole career get a chance to go back again. It's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah, hard. We know it better than anybody. Been blessed to be on both sides of that equation. Love being on the winning side of it and stuff. And even for the team that's going to lose on this upcoming Sunday, and I know it's easy for me to say being in 4 AFC or NFC championship games and 3 of the games not going the right way. But just like the Bengals are not even here this week, just like the 49ers aren't here this week, and it was almost like, woe is me. God, the teams are terrible. God, they had great years. Those are really good football teams. People are like, man, I'd rather lose than go to these games and be disappointed. No, you wouldn't. At least I wouldn't. I love playing playoff football. I love that we were playing late into January. Those teams played phenomenal, and it's way better than being home for Christmas.
Well, they had, I was just with Icky Woods this weekend, by the way. He told me to tell you hi. And
that Icky shuffle, huh?
I know.
Get in the middle, man.
It's so funny watching him try to do that Icky shuffle right now. But they had Icky.
God, I was with his teammate, my guy, downtown Eddie Brown. Down in Miami.
They had Icky at the game because he was the one that was going to present the trophy to the owner of the Bengals, but I had to rub that one in on him. I had to rub that one in.
I didn't know that. He was supposed to do that.
How they had ex-player normally right there as soon as they at the championship trophy to the owners, and he was the guy from Cincinnati that was going to do it. All right, Gab, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
We digress, Cal.
Yeah.
We apologize.
I know.
You're doing great. Well, this is our last show for the NFL season. Let's do our 2-minute warning, and we'll see what's coming up next for us.
What do you mean last show? What's wrong with you? All right.
All right. right, Hanford, is that it? Are we done for the season or what?
Hell
No,
no,
no.
we're not doing it. Have you lost your mind? Bernie and I, we're just getting started. At the right big play.
That's right. We're going to take a quick break,
Yeah.
and we will be back in action with some cool interviews, a whole off-season schedule to get us to, July, August?
Yeah, and I was going to say, how could we be done? Because, for instance, I was talking to Ozzy, and he said, well, I heard about you and BK's, he called Bernie BK. He said, heard about you and BK's podcast. And he said, well, goddamn, y'all ain't asked me to be on the damn show. So I said, don't worry about it, dog. We gonna get you on the show.
We got some of the guys, and we're going to get some of our health and wellness out there. He gave Kyle Richardson the okay to for the health factor for us guys. But that's something, we've teased and talked about it a lot. It's important to all of us, and it's funny how it's a big issue out in our country now. So it's something absolutely I'm fired up to talk about.
Well, I have to say this. I had the opportunity, and I'm wearing like a kindness shirt right now, and I'm going to go. Last week, gave away 2 Super Bowl tickets to 2 young ladies. They call them the Vaccine Queens, and boy, they were just phenomenal. How many people they went out and got vaccinated during during COVID. And going today, we give away 2 more tickets to Edwin's over in Shaker Square, because you guys know him. What he does is a lot of incarcerated. He
hires them for employees and stuff. Yeah, that's great stuff.
Great stuff right there. So we're gonna surprise him and present him with 2 Super Bowl tickets. But
pass it forward. Giving back.
Yeah.
Man.
So, but I'm looking forward to we keeping this thing going, and because I tell you what,
that is one of the things we've been blessed with is, and I use the phrase doing well by doing good, and being able to pass it forward to others, and that's absolutely some of the things with the off season is part of what I'd like to be doing with us. So we talk about the wellness of it, and then the community aspect of that, being able to incorporate not only what we've been through, but now incorporating that in with our community and with some of the younger demographics has been something to make an influence on.
Well, before we go, what were you doing in Miami?
Trustee meeting for the Canes, got a little U Health and stuff. So some of the holistic medicine that's been helping me is something that now I've talked with down there, and now as an environmental evangelist and community activist, as a healer in the late 3rd quarter, early 4th quarter of my life.
Hey, I told you. Hey, watch out.
Some of the stuff we do at the medical school down there has been very successful in my life and my lifestyle and my health. So working on that, and that's actually some of the absolute stuff that during the year now that I absolutely want to bring to some of our listeners out here.
What kind of team the Canes going to have coming up? You get a feel for it yet, or are you just waiting?
Well, they're getting ready for voluntary conditioning. The NIL world is quite active and stuff. And actually, we are in the market for a new offensive coordinator down there. So we're looking offensively.
Speaking of offensive coordinator, I'm going to think of our past defensive coordinator. Gab, do you understand what happened to Did you
breaking
hear about
news today?
I know
Breaking
Dave
news?
was breaking the news.
Yeah.
That we had
Joe
Joe Woods,
Woods.
Joe
and
Woods,
up with the Saints.
You are up on it then.
Well, no, Dave broke the news earlier today, so
Dave, you cheat.
he
You
was
told
reading,
her.
he was reading Twitter ahead of time for us. So
Joe
looks-
Woods landed
looks
on
like
his feet. Not bad.
BK, good show, baby.
Good show. You matter. Go
Hey,
Browns.
You matter, go Browns. One last thing before I run the last video. Just want to thank you guys for showing up every week. Thank you to Big Play Dave. I got to give him one more shout out. And for Ken, everybody who's made this podcast possible. We kind of threw this together in a whirlwind, and now it's blossomed into something really cool. I know a lot of our listeners really enjoy you guys. So keep it up, and I'm looking forward to the off season.
Love it. You matter.
You got it.